I remember there was a time when we was kings and queens, prophets and rulers, judging the earth. But now we stuck at the bottom of the totem pole. Where did we go wrong as a people? I think our people need to understand this.
And thinking like them damn Africans, they're soulless. Up, open your eyes up, looking in the mirror. It keep bottles up on the shelf. And thinking like them damn Africans, they're soulless.
Live. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Shalom for those of you online. Welcome to Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We have priest Zionala.
Shalom.
Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. That's 10 to 2 p.m. And our kids class that we're not going to be doing until September, but that goes from 11 to 12. But we're holding off on that until September. To catch our live classes, you'll be on Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, which is the stream you're on now. For old classes, you can check out Kazakia, ISB HPK. Let's see here. We have the ISB HPK Kids. Okay. Once again, there's no class until September for the kids. We also have our cable show every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Okay, and you can catch that Comcast local channel 17, or you can stream that live at hmstv.org. Okay, to reach any teachers, if you want to reach Priest Kazaki or Priest I1, Priest Kazaki's number is 281-707-2737. You can reach Priest I1 at 832-941-2443. And you can text me only during class, 303-557-8979. You can also email us at hiddentruth12@gmail.com. That's hiddentruth12@gmail.com. If anybody's looking for a garment for Passover or for otherwise, the sisters, they make garments every month. So you can place an order. You can look them up on Facebook at Israel Wear. Okay? They're also collecting money for the Passover garments. They're collecting that monthly. So if you get with them, they'll let you know how much the total is on your garment and how much you need to send monthly. Okay? Also, they're collecting $60 for our Unity pants, for the brothers' Unity pants. And the next deadline on that is 7/28, so the 28th of this month. Okay? So $60 for Unity pants. Donations, any contribution is welcome. Anything you want to give, we'll be glad to accept. Anything that's going to help further the educational process of our people, we're glad to accept that. Okay? And anybody that's given thus far, we appreciate it. It helps out. It helps out a lot. If you want to give any monetary donations, we do have a Wells Fargo account under Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, and that number is 101-580-6167. Okay? So if you want to donate any money, you can donate through the Wells Fargo account. If you want to give anything else, cars, clothes, books, pens, papers, computers, dictionaries, the older the better, apocryphers, Babylon, Timbuktus, Josephus, Zondervan Pictorial Bible dictionaries, annotated Bibles, they all help. So if you want to give those, you can mail those to the school at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Okay? So in the meantime, y'all get the link out. We're going to wait for everyone to log in. That way we can take some of these questions online. While we're waiting for them to get online, does anybody in the class have questions? What is your question, my mate?
My question is in Matthew's chapter 4 when Christ is being tempted, and it says a tempter came to him. Was that in the spirit, or was that actually a person that came to him and started tempting him like that?
Let's go there.
Good question.
Matthew chapter 4.
I mean, the answer is going to be in it's going to be in verse 2, but go ahead.
Okay. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then was Jesus lifted up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
So his question was in Matthew chapter 4, when Christ, after he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and the tempter came to tempt him, was that spiritually or was that carnally, right?
Come.
Just to put it in better terms.
Come.
Okay. So right now we're at Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1 to see, was Christ being tempted spiritually or was he being tempted carnally? Go ahead, read that.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then was Christ led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Go ahead.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights,
So when you fast, what are you trying to afflict?
your flesh,
Okay, go
your
ahead.
spirit, he was afterwards and hungered.
Right? So you see that? He was hungry. What gets hungry?
Body.
Your flesh.
Flesh.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command these stones to be made bread.
So this is the thing. He was when you really look at it, the tempter was trying to tempt him in both ways. He was trying to make him do spiritual things in a carnal way.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? He was trying to make him use the spirit to feed his flesh. Because how else are you going to turn bread to stone? Or excuse me, stone to bread. You have to be in some type of spiritual realm. You have to have a spirit on you. So Satan was making him try to use his spiritual gifts to do carnal. You see that? Go ahead, read verse 4.
Verse 4. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone,
Yeah, so he said, man should not live by carnal alone. Go ahead.
but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Father.
Because the words that I speak unto you.
I'm sorry, out of the mouth of God.
Because the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Right? So he was giving Satan that balance. Satan was trying to tempt him carnally. But he was like, listen, I'm dealing in the spirit. Man should not live by bread alone. Right? What do you want to say?
But was Satan tempting him through a man talking to him, or was it a spirit talking to Christ?
Let's see.
Because I know the spirit
Mm-hmm.
of Satan can get into a person. A demon can get into a person, and then come at a man.
Right.
But was Christ being tempted by a man that had the spirit of Satan on him? I mean, I know it doesn't say that. I was just that's just what I was thinking. Because it said he came and he said, like, did he hear the spirit, or was a man saying it to him?
That can go. I feel like that. What were you gonna say?
Well, Satan was full of scripture, so obviously, but
No, that's actually a good question. I feel like that can go so deep.
Excuse me.
What's that?
Well, I mean, it say when you first start reading, he took on the devil.
Wait, say that one more time.
I say when you first start reading that first verse, it say, then was Jesus led up of the spirit in the wilderness, into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil, tempted of the devil.
Right.
So it say he was tempted of the devil.
Right. But what do you mean by what?
But he was asking whether the man or right, bro?
Right.
Whether the individual or whether the spirit or
Yeah, was that because the devil is deceiver.
yeah.
Right. So, yeah, it was a man. It was a man trying to deceive him. You see that? Hold on. Let's go to Revelations. No, I'm just gonna go and just make it simple. Go to Revelations 12 and 9.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
And the great dragon was cast down,
Go ahead.
that old serpent called the devil,
What was he called?
called the devil
Go ahead.
and Satan,
Go ahead.
which deceiveth the whole world.
Yeah, how did he deceive? Think about it. How would Satan deceive someone?
Through someone.
He would come looking like them, right? Because the deception is not. There's no deception in showing up as looking like what we, the pitchfork and the horns. We always say there's no deception in that. The deception is, it's just like Christ and Judas, right?
Come.
Judas had the devil in him.
Come.
So that's a deception. That's where you get deceived when you're rolling around with a brother that looks like you. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing what you do. He's doing the works. He's doing all the stuff. But then in the back of his brain right here, touching his fro, but in the back of his brain, he knows that there's something off about him. So Satan came at him
Like
to tempt him, to deceive him, but he had to appear as a regular man. What you got?
is that like how like when Satan was on Peter,
Oh, when Christ said,
when the devil was on Peter, he was like, "Get thee behind me, Satan."
"Get thee behind me, Satan." Yeah,
Like, he was talking to Peter.
He was talking to Peter, but Peter had that spirit in him.
Right. Okay.
Right. Peter had that spirit on him. That's why, I don't know if you remember, we went over that one class. Damn, I forgot what it was titled. It was like talking to devils.
No, I said, are you working for the devil?
You- I forgot, man. Me and Thought one did it.
Oh, that class
Like
you did.
spirits,
Yeah, when you gotta first, like, when you talking to when you talking to, when you entertaining these spirits, you gotta know, are you talking to Satan, the spirit, or are you talking to that person?
Mm-hmm.
That's why Christ will communicate. He will communicate with that person to see, okay, who am I speaking with? Am I speaking with a man in his same mind? Or am I speaking of a man possessed with Satan in him?
Come.
You see that? So, what's that?
I had an example. Back in like 2011,
Uh-huh.
well 2010 rather. I had went on a fast and I was fasting. I think I was on like day 8, and I was training because I wanted to go try out for the Texans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And doing the whole thing, everybody, yeah man, we see you gonna make it, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But then the day I was gonna get ready to walk outside of my house, and all of a sudden, like Satan came with the spirit of fear through somebody else, like people that like they were trying to kill me. God didn't give us a spirit of.
Because what was he trying to do?
He was trying to keep me from achieving what I had.
Trying to deceive you.
do.
Yeah. He was trying to deceive you. Go to 2 Corinthians. Where are you at? 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 14. Because even if you go back into, think about it. It said the Satan deceived Eve, right?
Come.
How did he come to her?
Man.
You have to come to her in something that she was familiar with.
Come.
Something that she could recognize to even be able to communicate with her.
Come.
If I see a man with a pitchfork and horns, I ain't gonna deal with that. I'm out. Right? But if I see like I said, my own brother, he look like me, same woolly hair, all that. I'm like, oh, that's a brother, man. Let me see what's up with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let me see what's up with him. And then the deception comes in the speech, the talking. Oh, you're supposed to be able to do this, so do this. Oh, you hungry? Man, go ahead and change that. See them stones right there, man? You can eat that. Change that into that bread. You know, like, what you gotta do too, man, you gotta really imagine, and because we know what the story says, that Christ was led up to be tempted. But was it just cut and dry? There was other things involved. There was conversation.
Right.
There had to be more to the interaction than just, because how did the tempter know he was hungry? How did he know? He either watched him or he talked to him before. We just didn't get the whole interaction of all the words that were said.
Right.
You know, we're getting the story cut and dry. Look, Christ went up here. This is what was supposed to happen. This is what he said. We're not getting the little, all the nuance, all the whole, I'm not saying we're not getting the whole story, but that there could have been more to their conversation.
Right.
If they did converse, if they did speak, it could have been more back and forth to where it's like, damn, what's going on with you, man? Oh, I've been up here fasting 40 days before. Man, if you hungry, come on, bro. You know what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Satan talks. You know how he comes with them smooth words.
Right. Yeah.
You just gotta imagine Satan as this damn pimp, trying to negotiate his way into a man's mind by showing him and presenting to him certain things.
I would say he was a subtle beast.
Yeah, he was subtle. He was more subtle than any beast of the field because of the way he presented things and the way he brought things forth and the way he brought things in the moment when you felt like you needed it. That's how we get tempted now. It ain't the fact that you're getting tempted with something you don't want
Right.
or don't need. You're getting tempted with things you want.
Right.
Right?
Con.
You broke, Satan tempts you with that dollar.
Con.
You hungry, he tempting you with all ways to get this and get that. Car ain't running right, he tempting you. Damn, I need to go get a new car. He's throwing the things out there that you need. It said Christ was hungry. He tried to tell him to change the stones into bread. Because that was something that he knew Christ needed. But read where you at. Where you at? 2 Corinthians?
Yeah.
11 and what?
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
If you can say con whenever you have it. Go ahead and get that.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So once again,
Go back. Hold on. Go to verse 13.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13. For such are false apostles.
They're what?
False apostles.
Go ahead.
Deceitful workers.
Think about it. A false apostle. What did they appear to be? A true apostle, right? They showed up, fringes, garment, ready to do the work. But they were false apostles. What showed that? It was their works, the things that they said. They didn't want to conform to the program. They didn't want to lock into what was going on, right? So they were confirmed as false apostles. Go ahead.
Deceitful workers.
They were what?
Deceitful workers.
Think of it. They were deceitful workers. So Satan is a deceitful worker. He'll appear to be doing something that's righteous, but the back end, the product of what he's doing is deceit, deceiving you, taking you off the path, trying to follow his ways. You got some?
yeah, and I like that too because he said Satan's trying to deceive you, and he tried to deceive Christ. And if you read further down in that Matthew 4, he was hitting Christ with scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So if you're definitely not prepared and understanding the devices that Satan comes with, you will definitely be fooled.
And why do you have to hit him with scriptures? Because the carnal wasn't working.
God.
He was hitting him with the carnal. He was like, man, let me try to tap into this spiritual thing that he's doing.
Right.
But even that, he couldn't master above Christ.
Couldn't penetrate him.
Right? Read on.
Transforming themselves into
They do what?
transforming themselves
Go ahead.
into the apostles of Christ.
Yeah. They're deceitful work. Satan is a deceitful worker. Think about Judas. How long did Judas roll with Christ?
Every day.
But how many years? Who knows?
3.
He rolled with him for 3 straight solid years. He was the bank keeper. Because the apostles, they were selling oils, right? They were selling ointments and oils, right? So Judas kept the money. I'm going to get to you. Give me a sec. Judas held on to the money, but Judas was stealing. But it tells you that Judas had Satan in him. Satan came to Judas to figure out how he's going to get Christ brought up on charges and things like that. But the whole time, Judas was rolling with Christ. He transformed himself into an apostle of Christ.
Right.
But inwardly, he was deceitful. He was being deceitful the whole time he was there. He was stealing. He was stealing money the whole time. So you got to see, Satan has his job, but then the whole time Christ was like, I'm going to give this dude a chance to change. I'm going to give this nigga a chance to change. I'm going to give him a chance to confess, repent. He never did.
Right.
He just got worse. Read on.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness,
Go ahead.
whose end shall be according to their work.
You see that? Where you at? Where you at?
Verse 15.
2 Corinthians
Is that all we needed?
No.
chapter 11, verse 15.
Let me see.
That was it? What'd you just hit?
I've just finished 15.
Marvel 9, Satan.
2 Corinthians, verse 15.
Okay, yeah. That's all I really wanted though, was down to verse 14. But you see that? They appear as one thing, but they're not. These men that come in, men that come into these doors, they're gonna appear as one thing. They'll be laboring by your side for 10 years. And then 1 minute they're gonna be here, and then the next minute they're gonna disappear. What you got?
Give me a Jude 1 and verse 4. Jude verse 4. So once again, this is just to edify as well about understanding how Satan works and how patience is important. Why? Because Christ already knew what Judas was going to do, but he was patient in waiting for his action to show. You know what I'm saying? Once again, we're not here to judge. We're here to save, but everybody has their chance to make their decisions, man. But read this. This is Jude verse 4.
Jude, verse 4. For there are certain men crept in unawares.
It says unawares. Unawares of what? Their motives, their motivation, what they're here to truly do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said in verse 15 in 2 Corinthians about...
Not to cut you off, but it says certain men. Think about it. Men. They crept in unaware. How? How does Satan creep about unaware? He got to look like you. He come out acting like he doing the things that you're doing. You see? It works like this, man. This is how it works. Because we see it a lot. You got those bros that come in, they lock into the program, but then what happens is it's one little thing that they don't like, or maybe 2 things they don't agree with, and they start spitting that negative to the next man. They start spitting that negative, like, man, how could they do things like that? Or how could they do this? Man, I don't like that. I don't know about that. And they spit it to the next man. And then that negative seed resonates in this next man's brain, and it's up to that man to either kill that thought or let that seed grow. So it depends on the man, but usually they go to the weaker, inexperienced brothers because they know that spirit will pass on them. That spirit of discontent, of maliciousness, it'll grow in that weaker man, right? See, Satan thought Christ was weak at the time. He knew he fasted 40 days and 40 nights. He thought he was weak. He thought he was going to be able to give. He didn't understand. Where y'all at?
Jude 1 and 4. Who were before of old ordained to his condemnation. Of old.
Yeah, it's cold, man. for that person and for the person that these men have, where these men have crept upon.
It says they who were before of old ordained to this condemnation. Go ahead.
Ungodly men,
Go ahead.
turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness.
And,
Go ahead.
and what I like about that, it says turning the grace of our Lord God into lasciviousness. And think about it again. It says that the devil is subtle. So these people are not going to come in here and be like, oh, nah, they're going to do it real smooth. And it's poison. It's like poison ivy. Slowly but surely. But
because you got to look at when Satan was dealing with Christ. He tried to insert thoughts into his brain. He tried to insert thoughts into how he thought he was going to be able to overtake him. That's all it was. Just do some things out there like, yo, you can, man, you can do that, right? You can go ahead and let them angels take care of you. Throw yourself off this cliff. Let them angels take charge. You know? He was just throwing things out there, throwing these thoughts out to see what would take hold in Christ, how he can get them. But I mean, to go back to the original question, yeah. Go ahead.
The only Lord Jesus Christ.
You get that?
God.
yeah, that's what I like though too. With the just on just down into humans when it says to entertain strangers. You know what I'm saying? Or because most of it entertains angels unaware. You know what I'm saying? That could be good angels or evil angels as well. And that's why it's always good to understand and to communicate, talk. Let's see where this person's at. Where's his mind at? What you trying to get to? What you like in the mall? What you doing today? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Getting this whole information down. So yeah, it's crazy out here, man, because there's a lot of evil people out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? And especially with us having this truth, it's 10 times more harder for us. Why? Because now we got our family members coming at us with demonic spirits on them. It's them, just with a negative spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, it's always good to evaluate every situation and be very, what's the word I want to use? Be very thorough, watchful, because like I said, man, spirits jump around, man. You know what I'm saying? Even on yourself. That's why, if you notice, even in yourself, you know when you're clear, you know when your mind's good, but then you know when you don't feel a certain way, you don't feel normal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you can catch and understand when there's a spirit's on you. You know, so yeah, it's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, you know, you've heard people say, especially in the Christian church, don't put your mouth on the pastor, like the pastor's infallible. But see, you just got to reading here that some of them were the apostles that had these spirits. Mm-hmm. And so you got people running around looking for a devil, looking for something with some horns, and try that for, but it's not coming like that.
Right.
Speak.
Right.
Speak.
Con. For Christopher, man, these Esau questions. Yeah, we got a Christopher Jones. We got a whole class on that. She will send the link so you can have that. All right. I'll send the link out about the Esau class, about the Esau questions. So she could put that on there for you. You can go through that class and watch that and be further edified on that. I don't understand why you I can show you who and where Esau is today if you want the edification, brother. Khan, we'll edify you with the class. The water. Any other questions? Yeah, you can put that link up there for Christopher Jones.
Yes, sir.
The water. You went to 2 Corinthians what?
2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 14.
And there's a book as well. Who is Esau? Edom. It's a good book to get, Mr. Christopher Jones. Add that to your arsenal. Read that.
Yeah, he just
You got some of those?
No.
No, sir.
he said, I want that.
Actually, I acquired this book myself, so.
Well, you got
Is that
it.
yours?
Oh, it's definitely not mine. That's why it's it definitely is.
Oh yeah, that's Kazakh.
Barnes and Noble too?
Yes, sir.
You can either find it on Barnes and Nobles, possibly, but most likely Amazon. If anybody wants this book, it's Who is Esau? Edom. The ISBN number for it, where you can look it up online. If anybody wants to write this down, its ISBN number is 1-929-205-00-7. Once again, this is Who is Esau? Edom. And this was written by Charles A. Wiseman, a so-called white man. This is his own book. This lets you know who the Edomites in the Bible are.
Well, this is the thing. This has certain okay, so we're not saying that we use this book as the Bible or we put it over the Bible, but it does edify some scriptures. So, but you can check that class out. He can check that class out, Christopher Jones. We know a lot of times, man, y'all like to debate. Y'all like to debate it, and we're not gonna debate it. Somebody get me real quick on that. Somebody get me 2 Timothy. Yeah, that was just, they do that. It's those trolls, man. They troll. Yeah, they be set up questions.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. That question came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a lot of times.
That's wild.
Little CIA's little.
Go to 2 Timothy 3:14 real quick, because this is the thing. You got these Israelites that just learned the truth like 3 days ago, and then they think that their knowledge outweighs the knowledge that's been laid down from 40, 50, 60 years ago. So we ain't gonna debate it. You're not gonna hop online and edify me. We do the edification here. We teach the classes. If you want to learn, you can come to class and learn. But we ain't gonna argue, do none of that. Read that real quick. 2 Timothy 3:14.
But continue, thou in the things which thou hast learned.
See, we continue the things that we have learned, the things that have been set down from the 7 elders way back when. Go ahead.
And has been assured of.
And we're assured of these things. It's not no new knowledge that's been springing up. All this new doctrine that y'all coming out with. You microwave Israelites. Y'all coming out with all this new stuff to confuse the people. We ain't up here doing that. We ain't up here debating. Go ahead.
Knowing of whom thou hast learned them.
We know who we learned it from. Go ahead.
And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures.
Go ahead.
Which are able to make thee wise unto salvation.
Yeah, we're dealing with wisdom up here, man. We're not dealing with arguments, debate, what you think it is, what new knowledge came out 5 years ago. We ain't dealing with that. We're dealing with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the Bible.
Right.
Okay? If you don't know who Esau is by now, you need to wake the hell up, man. That's what I'm gonna say about that. If you want to debate who he is, if you can't see he's out here whooping your ass daily, whipping us as a nation, if you can't see that, then you need to wake the hell up. Get from behind your keyboard, get out into the real world.
Right.
Go ahead.
Through faith, which is in Christ Jesus. All scripture.
That's it on that. So you can check that class out, and you can go from there. Let's see, Fringed Up. Shalom, brother. I was wondering what it means not to mix linen. So, man, we gotta find that. On that?
Yeah,
Go there real quick.
Go to Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 11.
So the question is, what does it mean about mixing the linen? Verse 11.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts.
So it says you should not wear a garment of diverse sorts. And it's going to tell you what the diverse sorts are. Go ahead.
As of woolen and linen together.
Yeah, you're not supposed to mix the fabrics. There was a reason why, because wool had a function of what it did. It was to keep you warm. Linen had a function also. That was to keep you cool. See, the priests, when they went and they were sacrificing their animals and doing all that, they weren't supposed to sweat. So the Most High made them wear linen to keep them it kept them cool. Linen breathes. You ever watch, even out here in Texas, you wear that linen, man, it keeps you cool. You wear wool, what happens? You start sweating, wool, cotton. But the Most High was basically saying don't mix it, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna take the function, and that's what we do a lot. When it comes to everything, you pork eaters, you shrimp, crab, lobster eaters, you're taking the animal out of its function. This was so that we didn't take the fabric out of its function. Linen was to keep you cool, wool was to keep you warm. But once you mix the two, what you gonna be, hot and cold? You gonna be lukewarm? Right? Moses said pick one. He don't want you to be lukewarm. So you better be hot or cold, right? So you mix that linen, it doesn't serve its purpose. It doesn't do what the Most High created for. So that's what it was talking about, mixing your linens. We got anything else on that?
That's kind of same thing.
What was Leviticus 19?
Same thing.
Go to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19. Actually, what I like, can you hit Genesis 41 and verse 42? I just like this, though. This is how we used to roll back in the day.
Genesis what?
41 and 42.
Genesis chapter 41 and verse 42.
God.
And let's just get a little edification how our people was dressing back in the day. Read that.
Genesis chapter 41 and verse 42. And Pharaoh took off his rings from his hands and put it on Joseph's hand and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen and put a gold chain about his neck.
Yeah, he went to that one just to show that we were rocking that linen back then. That fine linen. But, I mean, more back on the point. Let me see here. No, I think we got it. Yeah, I mean, it's to the point. What was the other one? Yeah. Yeah, it was just about functionality, man. And letting the fabric do what it was created to do.
Using things for their purpose.
Go to Leviticus 19 and 19.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 19. Ye shall keep my statute.
This was a what?
Statute.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind.
Go ahead. Yeah, you ain't supposed to let your cattle just be out there with some old other animals. Just diverse, just everything just mixed up. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have a field of like orange, apple, pineapple trees or whatever. You're supposed to have a field of your set crop. You weren't supposed to mingle that seed. Go ahead.
Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
You see that? A garment of linen and wool. You taking that functionality out of it. So hopefully fringed up. Like, do we have to follow it because it's a commandment? Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Do you make your own garments? As far as from the fabric all the way to it's on your body. Not everybody has that luxury. Not everybody has that luxury. That's where, this is where grace and mercy come in. Because we go out and buy stuff. Yeah, you can check the labels to see but a lot of it is like polyester and mixed up with cotton and mixed in with this, right? It's 10% this, 5% this, 20% plastic. It's like, what the hell? What kind of garment is that? If you can prevent it, prevent it. I'm not gonna say, oh, because we're in captivity, we just don't have to follow it. No, we're in captivity. The Most High understands that. But if you can prevent from mixing your linens and your wools, do it. Do it. Be that law-abiding citizen. But not everyone has the capabilities to be able to do it, because we don't. You gotta remember, yes, we are oppressed. We don't have our own production of clothing from start to finish. We don't have that. Right?
God.
Yeah, we don't have that. It's just like like I seen one was dealing with it's crazy, man, the things that Israel does when it comes to like wanting to debate. One put a post on Facebook about the burgers we had. And then it turned into a debate, like, why are you eating meat and this and that and that and blah 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 blah. It's like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Where does the scripture say that we can't eat meat? But then one put a good point that, bro, a lot of you vegetarians, you want to be so holy and righteous, but they fertilize your plant with pig manure. So who's in the wrong? You can, and the reason why I bring that up, the point is this: you can't control what they fertilize with. All you know is that it's vegetables. You know it's been fertilized. You don't know what they're fertilized with. You see that? Tilapia is supposed to be a lawful fish, right? But when they have the tilapia at the tilapia farms, and I've read this, that to fatten them up, they feed them pig poo pellets, pig doo-doo to fatten them up. So now it's no longer lawful, right? But that's why the scriptures come back and say don't be over righteous or over wicked, because you start getting so over righteous. It's like, man, unless you can control how your clothes are made, unless you can go right into a cotton field, pick it, wrap it up however they do it, and string it into a garment, do it. If you can't, then I mean, you just got to deal with what you can go buy on the shelves. Read those labels. But even the labels lie. We know that. We know that our captors, the nations that have us in oppression, they will do everything for us to continue to break the law. They know that within us breaking the law, it keeps us further and further away from the Most High. It keeps us further and further away from our power. So they'll do whatever they can. They'll lie and say, yeah, it's all beef when it be pork some way, somehow. I've read stories about that, where it is beef, but they use like pork enzymes for the juices and all. It's like, come on, you can't win. You can't win for losing. You know, we trying. As long as you try to do what you can do, that's what the Most High is looking at. That you're trying and you're doing what you're capable of. That's what we got to remember. But we can sit here and criticize each other, like, why do you eat meat? How come you're a vegetarian? How come this? How come that? But at the end of the day, man, the cat at the very top, he's pulling all them strings and like, yeah, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get you because what? I'm gonna fertilize your plant products with pig boo-boo, and I'm gonna give you contaminated meat anyway, right? So we gotta be careful of that, man. We gotta see that it's a grand scheme to keep us warring with each other, which for some reason Israel loves to do, right? On the simplest crap.
Favorite pastime.
It's like our favorite pastime, to just argue and fight amongst one another. It's like, what the hell? Like this cat hopping on here talking about Esau this, and bro, we've been through that. What the hell are you arguing with me for? Go argue, go edify and teach someone that needs to be taught. Go use the same diligence and knowledge that you have to wake up your brothers and sisters.
Look at S.O.W.
You ain't gotta come up here and argue with us. We don't care if you want to argue. We ain't gonna do it. It's pointless. And that's what Israel gotta realize, man. You want to argue back and forth and fight me? Won't you use some of that time and energy to wake up them brothers and sisters out in the street that don't understand jack? But you know what the problem is? It's easy to sit behind a damn keyboard. It's easy to sit behind a keyboard or troll on somebody's YouTube page, instead of actually getting out there and putting in some work, walking around in the hot sun, flyers, street teaching.
Right.
It's easy as hell to sit in your AC house and argue with a cat online.
Right.
But when it comes to putting in that real work, y'all ain't nowhere to be found.
Y'all can't rebuild anybody. All y'all do is break down. You try to destroy people's spirits, which is not in the Most High's job description for us.
But what else we got? I feel like I'm going off on a tangent.
That's it.
I feel like I went off a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm unapologetic. But yeah, fringed up. If you can follow it, because it is a commandment, follow it. Follow it. You know, follow it. If you can do it, definitely do it. What else? Yeah. Oh, you deleted it? Oh, okay. Yeah, you should have let him rock. So yeah, it's all good. What else we got online? Any other questions?
Live.
How y'all feeling?
Wow.
Con. You gotta love it, man. Gotta love our people. Trinidad Tobago viewing. Shalom. Isaiah 5 and 20. Christian, was that a question or were you just throwing that scripture out there? No. Isaiah 5 and 20. That's 8:20. No, he put 5 and 20. Born to that call evil good and good evil. Yeah. I don't know if he was throwing a question out or what. If it was a question, Christian, just react to that. But if not, it's all good. Yeah. So fringed up. Con. Okay. Anybody else got any questions online? I mean, if there's nothing, we're just gonna go into this clap. Thanks for answering my question. Okay.
He asked that last class.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We know we haven't. We know we can't get to every single one of y'all questions, man. But keep asking them. We'll get to them. You know, we only got like 3 hours, so some questions take longer than others. Sometimes we have new brothers and sisters in class, so we got to just hit some basics. But just keep asking those questions, and we'll definitely get to them. Mark. Cat Valor, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, sis. What else? We got anything? The question that was asked earlier, it was Christ being tempted by a spirit or by a man? In Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. That's for Elizabeth. But I ain't got nothing online, man, so we're just gonna go into this class.
Oh, that's his name on there. That's Scripture's name. Isaiah 5:20.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's get into it, man. So we're going to title this, we're going to do a little history. All right, it's important for us to know our history. You know, when you go to these schools, you go to high school and all these, you know, all the schools that they got out here, the first thing they want to push on you is American history because we're in America. You know, but we got to know our history and where a lot of our things started, and because if we don't, they'll lie to us and tell us that they invented everything, they came up with everything is of them. When we know we invented everything, we came up with everything, science, math, all that. The Most High gave us all that. Right? So it's important for us to hit some history. So what we're going to go over today, we're going to hit on basically what happened during 70 AD. We pulled a lot We pull it a lot when we go into the Babylon Timbuktu. Right? Is everybody familiar with this book? So Babylon Timbuktu, Rudolph A. Winter, he goes in and deals with like the ancient civilizations. He goes in and deals with the Egyptians and what they were doing. Tells you where Muhammad got his religion from, the Muslims. He goes into the Jews, the real Jews, and talks about them and he was going through and documenting what was happening in certain periods of time. He just doesn't go super in depth. It's a real small book, right? So we're going to be using the Babylon Timbuktu to bring out some points. We're also going to go into the Josephus, all right? So Josephus was a Jewish historian. So we're going to go into both of these books to see what was going on a little bit before 70 AD and what was going on after, and how the scriptures, see, the scriptures line up. The scriptures line up, what was happening in Jerusalem at the time. What was Christ doing? What was he telling the people? And how does it line up with some of these books? So we're going to just use these books to edify some points, but we're definitely going to be in the scriptures. It's going to be some writing. Okay? So, y'all ready? God. Nothing online, right? All right. Yeah, if you got any questions, man, just hold them. We're just going to try to go through this class. So you can title it The Siege of Jerusalem 70 AD. Okay? So I'm going to hit y'all with some dates. So right now we're going to be dealing with, you can write down 146 BC. Okay, 146 BC is when, because we're dealing with Rome. Rome is the nation that came through and destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD. They're the ones that had the nation surrounded. So we're going to be dealing with Rome, some of the Roman army generals, and what was happening at the time. So you can write down 146 BC is when Rome became a superpower. Okay? So Rome became a superpower in 146 BC after they defeated the say it wrong all the time. Carthaginians in the Third Punic War.
That's with Hannibal.
Yeah.
Hannibal reign.
Yep. Use the elephants, baby.
Damn. Across the Appalachian Mountains, right? And
It's Carthage. I say it wrong.
Carthaginians,
Yeah.
or Carthage. It's actually Carthage. My fault.
Well, that's the country.
But
Carthage.
Yeah.
they say Carthage.
I'll spell it. CarthagianIans. Carthaginians.
Okay, you got
Carthaginians.
Okay, Carthaginians. Okay.
Yes, in the Third Punic War that lasted from 149 through 146 BC. So it was basically a 3-year siege. And this is where Rome basically burnt down Carthage. And that's how they gained. I'm gonna say it, but I'll go back over it. Like I said, there's gonna be some writing. So the way you do it, you write Rome, right? Rome, 146 BC, superpower. And then also you can put 149 through 146 BC was the Third Punic War. Okay?
BC or BCE?
BC,
BCE.
yeah, BCE.
Okay.
Different sources cited different, yeah. So Rome burnt down Carthage and gained control of everything west of the Mediterranean Sea. So if you have a mental map of the Mediterranean, if you're looking dead at the globe, you got the Mediterranean, you got Africa is down here, and up here you have Italy, you got Spain, Portugal, you got Western Europe over here, right? Y'all are familiar with the maps? Like how the map of the world looks? I mean, you can check it on your phone. But yeah, you got the Mediterranean Sea here. You got the Tyrrhenian Sea here. You got Italy. And then right under all that, you got Africa, North Africa, right? You can check that out on the map. But so it's basically telling you they gain control of everything west of the Mediterranean Sea. It says they also control Greece, North Africa, Spain, and Western Europe. So you got to see Rome was Rome was about that life, man. They took control for real. They did not play. They conquered a lot of these huge countries. And see, at this time they hadn't conquered the east yet, like going towards Jerusalem. They hadn't had anything in there. So after they conquered everything west of the Mediterranean, they're like, okay, now we're gonna head east, right? So before that happened, you had these civil wars between, and you're gonna write this name down, it's John Hyrcanus and his sons. John. Last name is spelled Hyrcanus.
HYR?
Hyrcanus. And I'll give you his date of birth and everything. He was born 175 BC and died 104 BC. And he was basically, he was the high priest. He was the high priest from around 135 BC to 104 BC. You see that? So he was a high priest all the way till he died. What is that, 34 years? Okay. And he basically was the head of the Hasmonean kingdom. Okay, that was the name of his dynasty. Hasmonean dynasty, which was in Judea in ancient Palestine. Y'all with me so far? And basically from 140, between 140 and they ruled all the way, let's see here. That dynasty was around for 103 years. And it went from Judea and Palestine, it went into Samaria, Galilee, Idumea, Perea, I'll spell it Perea. And I'll spell this one, it's Iturea, it's Iturea. And they say that this was basically like an independent period, or it was an independent kingdom of Israel. This one, Israel was like independently ruling, right? What's that?
So,
You want right now? What's up? What's up,
so this John
Here, Candace.
Hyrcanus?
Hyrcanus, so he was an Israelite.
Kind of.
Okay, and he was a high priest
He's a high priest.
for 34 years.
He was, it says high priest and ruler of the Jewish nation from 135 to 134. 135/134, so around that
Okay.
time to 104 BC. Yep.
Okay.
And his reign was basically called the Hasmonean Kingdom or the Hasmonean Dynasty.
That's one of the times.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a. Okay, there it is.
I mean, and the thing is, with it, like, a lot of this stuff you can actually look up. You can look a lot of this stuff up on, I went to, I had this encyclopedia. I'm not really huge on Wikipedia, but I used this encyclopedia page, and it gave me a lot of information on just the the dates and things like that. Where you at?
No, I just looked up.
Because I know I heard it in the because it's in the Maccabees.
Yeah, he's in the Maccabees also.
He's actually the son of Simon Maccabeus.
Right. And you can read it. I mean, his name is mentioned 2 Maccabees 3:11.
So you already know how the Maccabees got down.
I like this. Oh, check this out. We'll give you a little bit more info. I like this. Same thing. Yeah, you can read about him in 1st and 2nd Maccabees.
And that's how you know the Apocrypha is on point, because it has history in it. You know, a lot of Christians try to debunk the Apocrypha, but sorry.
But you know the Maccabees is real because that's his history. It names like historic Antiochus Epiphanes and all those different historical figures. Get back to what I got. So y'all with me so far?
Done.
So you can write this down. In 63 BCE, the kingdom was conquered by the Roman Republic. So basically, the Romans came in. That's what it was. The Romans came in and took over the Hasmonean dynasty. What's that?
Can you repeat that again, please?
63 BCE. The Romans came in and took over the Hasmonean dynasty. And made it into a client state. A client state is basically a state that's just subordinate to a higher ruling power. So it's just like, and what's a good way to do it? You wouldn't say an occupation, not at that time. It's just like if America went over to, let's say they went over to one of these smaller countries and basically set up shop.
Yeah, it's not a siege state.
They set up shop, but made them, it's not an occupation because America occupies a lot of countries, right?
Right.
They're in Japan, they're in,
Bordering, I guess. You can say if you border around them.
yeah, but they didn't take them over. They took them over and made them just subordinate to them, so they controlled them. They were a lower level of the Romans, basically. They didn't go in there and completely wipe them out yet. So we're dealing with 63 BCE. The kingdom was conquered by the Roman Republic, broken up and set up as a Roman client state. So they broke up the dynasty. What's up? I'll be up.
So this is before they became a superpower.
This is before who became a superpower?
Rome.
Roman? No. This is all going in history. This is all going in line.
Didn't you say it was 146 BC when they became a superpower?
Mm-hmm. The time goes down at this time. 146. The time goes down.
Oh, it counts down.
It counts down, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're starting at 146 BC. Now we're talking about 63 BCE. Yeah, the time, just so y'all know, the time counts down. That's why when you look at Hyrcanus' birthday, he was born 1 BC. So it counts down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so John had 2 sons that fought over control. After he died, he had 2 sons that fought over control. Okay, so the first son you can put Alexander Jananias. Alexander. I suck at name pronunciations, by the way. Jannaeus. What's that? Who has a question? Oh.
Those are the sons of John.
Yeah, you had. So the first son. The first son was I'll spell it for you. It's ARISTOBULUS.
One more time.
ARISTOBULUS. Aristobulus. That was the first son. He had the throne after his father. And then Alexander Jannaeus, he basically got the throne from his older brother.
Is she his second son?
Yeah. Man, this guy's ruthless. And so Alexander's reign was from 103 BC to 76 BC. Says he inherited the throne from his brother Aristobulus and married his brother's widow. Yeah.
What were those dates again?
Well, 103 BC to 76 BC.
And that's out of Josephus. You got this?
I'm at where did I grab this one from? No, this is from this is this encyclopedia page. We'll find it. It's matter of fact, I got it. That's not it. Actually, I did get that one from Wikipedia. Yeah, I got that from Wikipedia. So you can put in these names, and it'll give you like, I mean, cause it goes super in depth That was super in depth. So basically, this is how the story goes. And so let's see here. Oppressive, never-ending conflict. So Alexander, basically during his reign and his conquest to expand Judea, it was a lot of civil wars between him and his brothers, right? And they're basically saying that his reign was generalized as cruel and oppressive with never-ending conflict. So there was always wars and infighting when trying to expand. Let's see here. So what Hyrcanus did, he basically sought help from the Romans. He got help from the Romans, right? And it says Hyrcanus sought help from the Romans under Pompey, and they subjected Judea to their rule in 63 BC. So these two brothers, Aristobulus and Alexander, they're fighting for this power, back and forth, fighting for this power. So one of them went to the Romans to say, "Look, help me defeat my brother." Y'all understand? So Aristobulus was sent to Rome as a prisoner and remained there until his death. He tried to regain power in 56 BC. So I know it's a lot of dates. I'm trying to make it come out as clear as possible.
So what was the Israelites?
Yeah, they were part of the Maccabees. They were part of that family. Yeah. So these two brothers were basically, the civil wars that it was talking about were between these two brothers, Aristobulus and Alexander. Okay, so they were basically jostling for power back and forth. So basically, one of them went to the Romans, and this is when Pompey, you hear the name Pompey.
Yes.
One of them went for help from the Romans, and this is when Pompey was in power. And he intervened, right? He intervened, helped them, but this one they put Judea under subjection, under this Roman subjection. And so Aristobulus, after an unsuccessful attempt to regain control, he was sent to Rome as a prisoner. This is where he died. See, because Rome was smart. Rome said this. Pompey was actually a smart man. What he said was, okay, we'll help you take over, but once we do that, now we're going to be able to control. We're going to control, right? We're going to control Judea. Y'all understand that? That's the only reason why they helped. They looked at it as an opportunity to help, but then to seize control. It says Rome saw this as a strategic opportunity to take Jerusalem and turn it into a Roman province. So that was the whole point. They wanted to turn Jerusalem into a Roman province. Pompey took the side of Hyrcanus because he would make a good puppet to control the Jews when Rome would come to conquer Judea. So I know, remember we went over it in Numbers when it was talking about Phineas? And then when you read in the Maccabees also, what would they do? They would go to the elder, right? They would go to the elder of the community and try to convert him into the heathen ways, so that the people could follow, right? That was one way of converting. That's one way they used. That's one weapon they used to convert us at these times. They would just go to the elder. They'd go to the high priest and say, "Listen, if you eat this pork, Everyone's gonna see it. Where you at? Everyone's gonna see it and want to follow it. You got something on that?
Just the precept of what you said. This is literally what happened. I was saying this real quick.
Go to our first Maccabees. Ah, yeah, it's perfect. Go to first Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11.
Go ahead.
In those days, went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
See that? They made a covenant with the heathen that were round about them. These were wicked men that said, let us make this covenant. And the Romans knew it too. Like, if we go to them and make a covenant, they're not going to want to die for anything. And they'll show the people that they're on the side of the Romans, or they're on the side of the heathen. It was just easier for them to convert us to their ways. Right? Read on.
For since we departed from them, we have did much sorrow.
We have had much sorrow.
It's a lot. We had much sorrow.
Right. And this how it's crazy, man. When you look at it, this how we thought when Moses was bringing us out of Egypt. We were thinking the same way. We were like, man, let's go back to Egypt. Let's go back to Egypt because we had food and water there and shelter. We had no faith. We had no faith in the Most High. So the same thinking that was applied in Egypt, where let's run back and join ourselves to Pharaoh and be with Pharaoh, was the same thinking that was here in the time of the Maccabees, where it was like, let's be like the heathen, let's join to them, because with them we're prosperous, which is the same thinking that's here now, right? It's like, well, I'm an Israelite, but I'm gonna build I'm gonna build the nation's kingdom. I'm gonna use the word nations. We're gonna build their kingdom, because if we don't, we're gonna be uncomfortable. We can't live without that paycheck, right? It's the same thinking. It's the same thought process. So they know how to get us, man. They know how to keep us oppressed. They keep us oppressed through the economics of things. What's up, David?
And this is why you got all the churches, especially Christian churches. I got to say it.
I know you got to. You got to go ahead.
Bible, they got the same Bible, but they're not saying the same thing.
Right.
In the community.
Right. No, you're right.
You know, I don't know why people can't see that.
Well, this is the thing. People can't see it. You know what it is, man? People don't want to take the effort to do something about it. Yeah. It's like I was saying earlier, if you can't see who Esau is and how he's oppressing you, if you can't see that, you're just not. Yeah. You're oblivious to the things that are going on in the world. If you can't see it, then you're too lazy to look for it.
You know, I saw something today. I was working at this house, and the guy had the TV on, and you can hear it. And so I don't know what the deal was with Donald Trump the other day, but you ain't never seen in your life, I bet you, a guy that just made president, and he did what about 7 months now? 6 months? 6 months he in office, and he got a whole family of Edomites, children, and everybody up in the house.
On a press conference?
Yeah, I mean, all these, you know, this ain't nothing but whitewash the White House. And you got all these, not politicians, you got children of these different families up there, nothing but Edomite children.
Did you see the woman with the skinny eyebrows?
Yes.
That was drawn on. I was like, did she really have it like that?
You know, you
gotta see
this
that.
on TV. I mean, he put around the country.
Oh. She had
You know, I just
Wait,
thought
say it
I
again?
this chick had marker eyebrows. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I
it
see
was
that.
a line,
Yeah.
went this way and
This-
down.
Come on, man, y'all crazy.
Brother, this wasn't nothing but four-way trash on TV.
I'm talking about
And they
those
pushing
eyebrows.
this agenda. They pushing this agenda for white supremacy. I mean, that's all it is. And they milking the taxpayers for all they can get out. And they ain't got no sense to see that, man. I'm so glad I can't vote till I know what to do.
Right.
If I could, I wouldn't even vote, man. I mean, it's junk. It's junk. I mean, nobody black in the politics is saying nothing but Al Green. But I mean, you see this stuff, man.
Wait, I
It's-
bring it? I bring so light?
No, he's not. Well, let's hop back on. Let's hop back on topic.
Okay, brother. Yeah.
Let's hop back on topic. But
But I said that reference to what you said about
Yeah.
Esau.
right,
I mean, it's right there in their face.
it's right in our face. But like I said, man, it's not that our people don't see it. It's like some of them just want to. They find comfort in. It's Stockholm syndrome, man. They find comfort in relying on the oppressor, and say that the oppressor is not the oppressor when he's stepping on your damn neck.
Right.
But you saying, "Oh, give him a pass." Hell nah. Christ said, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, the scriptures say that we can't take vengeance. We know that. But Christ, you think Christ gonna come and give them a pass? Hell nah. He gonna come and repay to them what they've done to us. What were you saying?
I don't know if you got 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, where you at? See, I like this. I like this.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 12.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
So this device pleased well.
Go ahead.
People were so herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
You see that? They thought that the king was their Christ. Oh, the king said I could do it. So I'm not gonna follow what the scriptures say. I'm gonna do what the king says. Just like, what do we do today? The pastor said it's okay. So I'm gonna do the Bible? I don't know about that, but pastor said I can eat pork, crab, lobster. I can smoke cigarettes,
Pig
feet, catfish.
The pig feet.
Pastor do it, so guess what? I'm gonna do it. The
Yeah.
word of Christ no longer stood
No.
when it came to them. Read on.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
So actually, this right here is literally talking about a gym. Because if you go into it was a dictionary I read, but the Romans, they worked out naked. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually why a lot of people don't wear clothes in the gym. But continue to read.
You can read that in Josephus also, where it talks about the gymnasium. They exercise naked. Go ahead.
According to the customs of the heathen.
And that was the customs, to work out naked. There's pictures of actually, you got a lot of Romans, a lot of Edomites that would wrestle naked. You know what I'm saying? They had like a little sock cloth, what you want to call it. But read.
Covering their balls.
Verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised.
They did what?
Made themselves uncircumcised.
And this is not talking about. This is talking about they try to physically make themselves. They were sewing the skin back on.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come.
Because you got to think about it. Check it out. So these are legit, these are real Israelites, right? So whenever you're naked, you can see that you're circumcised.
Right.
So they was like, cool, we finna listen. We gotta blend in some kind of way.
Yeah. So they were sewing that skin back on.
Oh, that's
You gotta
real.
see that. But that's how far gone our people be. It's no different. It's no different from today though. We make ourselves uncircumcised with their customs. With all the holidays, with all the trick-or-treating and the 4th of July. Like, you got niggas out that they want to run around and be white boys all day.
Yeah.
They want to, they blind you, dye your hair.
Skin.
You tattoo I'm gonna go get me a sleeve, dog. Like, come on, man.
Make your voice sound feminine. And
All that. You want to be a homosexual. All these things, you uncircumcise yourself. Most importantly, you uncircumcising your mind. You taking away the things that the Most High done instilled in you, the righteousness and the goodness, and you turn it into that wicked. Where you at?
Second precept of 15.
And
And forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen.
That's it on that. That's it on that.
Come.
But you see the process. They would go to the elder and say, "Listen, this is what we need. This is what we need done," and they would do it. You do it, and then everybody else will follow. So now, going back, we got this is when General Pompey comes in, right? So Rome saw that it was a strategic opportunity to take Jerusalem and turn it into a Roman province. Okay? It said Pompey took the side of Hyrcanus because he would make a good puppet to control the Jews when Rome would come to conquer Judea. There's another date. In 63 BC, Pompey came and besieged Jerusalem. 3 months and took it and killed many Jews and pillaged Jerusalem. So they besieged Jerusalem. They set up camp round about it, right? Somebody give me Luke 19 and verse 43.
Luke chapter 19 and verse 43.
Go ahead.
For the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee.
So when you read about this trench, you got to think about it. They actually were digging. They actually dug a trench around. They did it to cut off supplies. They knew that they could starve you out. What's up?
Isn't that like the same one like what they see in the book of Judy, right?
Mm-hmm. They dug that. They just trenched around it. They cut it off from the rest of the world. You can't get nothing in, and nobody could go out. Right? Go ahead.
And compass thee round.
Go ahead.
And keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in the one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
Right. So Christ was basically letting us know you didn't know what was going. We weren't paying attention to what was going to happen, right? But he was letting us know that it's going to come when your enemies are going to be round about. So this was Pompey. What's up?
There's a question to the son of
You got Pompey and you got Titus. Wait, they said, let me see. What did they say? Oh. Which Pompey was the one, the father of his son. This was General Pompey. His son was Titus. We don't go there. Yeah, but you see that? Christ was telling them there's going to come a time when Jerusalem's going to be compassed about by your enemy. And so this is what Pompey did. So Christ prophesied it, and it happened in history. Right?
Come.
Get back. I could have sworn I cited where I got this. I'm just going to read it.
Come.
I know I was in the Josephus. I think it's Wars of the Jews. Book 7. See, I have this app where I can go into the Josephus and just grab things. And I think I forgot to write down where I got it from. Book 7, chapter 1.
Sextus Pompey, but this was his son, Pompey. So
I'm gonna read this real quick. It says, Pompey pitched his camp within the wall on the north part of the temple, where it was most practicable. But even on that side, there were great towers, and a ditch had been dug, and a deep valley begirt it round about. Damn, this is crazy. It says they had a crazy strategy when they did this. Deep valley. For on the parts towards the city were precipitous, and the bridge on which Pompey had gotten in was broken down. However, a bank was raised day by day with a great deal of labor, while the Romans cut down materials for it from the places round about. And when this bank was sufficiently raised, and the ditch filled up, though but poorly by reason of its immense depth, he brought his mechanical engines and battering rams from Tyre. So when he had battering rams to knock down the walls of Jerusalem.
that's how they actually got in.
That's how they got in, because Jerusalem is a city that was compact. It had walls to defend it. Defense walls, had the temple.
That's why the Most High was talking about how we trusted in the walls.
Right.
His walls.
And not him.
Right.
But see, Pompey, he dug ditches. And then he came with his, think about it, I said he came with battering rams and mechanical engines from Tyre. Placing them on the bank, he battered the temple with the stones that were thrown against it. And it had not been our practice from the days of our forefathers to rest on the seventh day. This bank could have never been perfected by reason of the oppression of the Jews would have made. For though our law gives us leave then to defend ourselves against those that began to fight with us and assault us, yet does it not permit us to meddle with our enemies while they do anything else. So basically what it was saying, while they were building this bank, the whole time we were fighting with them. But on the seventh day, they kept building the bank and we stopped. Because it wasn't, it was the Sabbath.
We should have kept fighting.
We should have, right.
Overly righteous.
We were overly righteous. It's good to do good on the Sabbath, right? That's what Christ said. So we were like, well, it's a Sabbath day. They're just building a bank to come and break down our walls, but we're going to rest on that day and not defend ourselves. So that's what it's saying. Basically, if it wasn't for that seventh day, they would have probably never got it built. But they took that seventh day to keep working and working and working, so that way we let our defense. Let's see here. It says, see, I'm going to read it again. Position by our, right? Yet does it not permit us to meddle with our enemies while they do anything else. So if they were fighting with us that whole time, we would have been in there. Sabbaths, they threw them, but raised to such forwardness. Y'all see that? So they were smart. They're like, yeah, we ain't gonna fight, but we're gonna still raise the banks up and bring for the net. So they're like, okay, so when it's time to war, we're gonna just hit. Now we'll go back into Josephus. See, I was just pulling different instances. The siege.
Luke chapter 19, verse 44.
Go ahead.
And they shall lay thee with the ground, and thy children.
And will deny the young or the old. A nation of fierce countenance. Somebody get that for me in Deuteronomy. We can read that too. We're going to add that in there. Go ahead.
Within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another.
Yeah, you see that? They destroyed it so much, it didn't even look like somebody lived there. It didn't look like it was inhabited by anyone, because they ripped the stones out the foundations. Go ahead.
Because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
Where you at? And just, I know you just walked in, sis. We're basically going over what happened in Jerusalem during the time of, from about 67 AD to about 70 AD. Okay, so there's a lot of different dates and names that we went over, along with some scriptures, and then we're hitting into Josephus and the Babylon Timbuktu. Oh, look. She's there. Did y'all see that? Where you at, Jeremiah?
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. A nation of a fierce countenance,
Right?
which shall not regard the person of old, of the old,
Go ahead.
nor show favor to the young.
Yeah, he said, your children within me, they're going to be laid with the ground. That's what they did. They didn't care if you was young or old. They killed 10,000 people in 3 months. Think about that. Think about that. They didn't care, man, woman, and child. Right?
If you pay attention to the scripture you was reading, it say, and the children that are within these. So even
Yeah, even you be
Right.
pregnant.
Right.
Hell yeah. These cats were savage. Right? But when you at war, it's all's fair in war. To them. They had no code of conduct. They just came in and just did whatever. Right? And real quick, I'm gonna just jump to somebody got a Babylon Timbuktu? You can read it for me. On page 84. Because we use this a lot. But this lines right up with where we're at in the time period.
This is Babylon, Babylon Timbuktu,
From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84.
second paragraph.
Go ahead.
In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
Right, so that's when they captured it by compassing it roundabout for that 3 months, right? They captured it roundabout. So that's about where we're at right now. We're about 65 BC. What's that?
So during the siege, the fighting, they did all their digging and stuff on the Sabbath.
Who?
Like during the 3 years of the siege.
Who? 3 months. Who?
Oh, it was 3 months.
Yeah, who did all their digging?
Romans.
They didn't keep the Sabbath.
No, I'm saying
Uh-huh.
we kept the Sabbath,
Mhm.
but they kept going.
Yeah, they worked round the clock.
Huh.
But they knew that we wouldn't fight them. They knew that we wouldn't, the only thing that we would do is defend ourselves. So they were like, well, we're not going to physically fight with them, but we're going to continue to build the ditch and the trenches. That way we can move our battering rams in.
Yeah, so during that 3 months, every 7th day they were digging that trench.
They did it every single day.
Oh, every single
Yeah,
day.
it was round the clock work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you read up back in where I was at, it talked about how it says, however, the bank was raised day by day with a great deal of labor.
Oh, okay.
So they were trying to fill in these ditches because it's like a moat kind of thing.
Huh.
Yeah, they were filling that in so they could move their battering rams right against the wall and batter the wall. So that's what it was. They were trying to fill in around the walls. Yeah. So every single day they were doing that while they were throwing things over the wall, hitting the wall. Yeah, so it was all types of fighting. Let's go back to the Josephus. Let's see where I leave off.
The siege of Jerusalem.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, yeah, they dug. Let's see. It says they dug the foundation up, and there was left nothing to make those that came thither believe that it had ever been inhabited. This was the end which Jerusalem came to by the madness of those that were for innovations. A city otherwise of great magnificence and of mighty fame among all mankind. So they basically came in and just destroyed the city. Caesar told them, level it, and they did that. Now we go to Wars of the Jew, book 5, chapter 12. Man. So this is talking about how when they encompass the city, from the Jews, together with of the city. Then did the famine. So now they basically was cutting off the food from them. So nothing went in, nothing went out. You couldn't get no supplies, right? The famine widened its progress and devoured the people by whole houses and families. The upper rooms were full of women and children that were dying by famine. And the lanes of the city were full of dead bodies of the aged. The children also and the young men wandered about the marketplaces like shadows, all swelled with the famine and fell down dead. Wheresoever their misery seized them. Think about it. It said they were swelled up. You know when you see those Feed the Children commercials, and you see the African kids, and their bellies are just bloated with air. That's what was happening to us, man. That famine hit. Yeah, you probably had all types of disease because you were eating whatever you could get a hold of. So it's probably worms bloating you. But that's what that is. They just eat contaminated water and whatever they could get a hold of. So it said, man, this is wild.
Yeah.
See, the Josephus goes into it, so does the Maccabees. It says, whosoever their misery seized them. For as for burying them, those that were sick themselves were not able to do it. So there were dead bodies everywhere. And those that were hardy and well were deterred from doing it by the great multitude of those dead bodies. So it was like, man, I'm about to go bury these bodies. Like when you read about in Tobit, where he was going out and burying the bodies. But there was so much dead that they were like, nah, we ain't gonna be able to do it all. Think about it, you got 10,000 dead bodies just sitting there and they keep piling up day by day. You're gonna be like, man, let them sit there and rot.
Yeah, it's overwhelming work.
It's overwhelming work because as soon as we bury one, 4 more die. As soon as we bury those 4, we got 10 more. It's overwhelming. It says, and those that were hardy and well were deterred from doing it by the great multitude of those dead bodies, and by the uncertainty there was how soon they should die themselves. So they were like, man, if we exert all our energy burying bodies, we might pass over and die. For many died as they were burying others. They were starving.
Falling in pig with them.
Yeah. You dug a ditch for one, and 2 fell in. But see, this is what the Romans put us through. So it baffles me why you got you got brothers online and people online that want to defend this nation. The same nation that did it back then, they're doing it now. The same nation that did it back then, they're doing it now. They're just doing more. Now they'll feed you. They'll just feed you crap that'll kill you. Now they ain't gonna starve you because that's inhumane. We're gonna put poop in your food, in your fertilizer, pig poop, pig pellets. We're gonna give you GMO. Mm-hmm. We'll feed you. We're gonna feed you. We're gonna give you contaminated water. I mean, come on, man. I don't care how much you filter your water. That water is so dirty. That water is so dirty. Think about it. There's another point that this brother had made on the post that Taha won't have put up. Think about it. You filter your water, right, to drink, but then you bathe with that contaminated water. It goes into your pores the same way. Your body absorbs it. Probably not at the same rate as drinking it,
right? But
still, through time.
That skin's largest organ.
Yeah, so it absorbs. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Some of the bottles of water you buy at the store, you can sit it down and the bottle will just be leaning by itself. But it ain't fair, but the bottle's just leaning.
The bottle itself?
Yeah, so I said, man, it gotta be something.
It's probably contaminated with lead. Even my water looks cloudy, it's lime. What's that?
No, I seen someone on YouTube. They did a test with like tap water and different bottled waters,
Oh yeah.
and he shows like how much heavy metals was in the waters.
Yeah. And basically it wasn't really no different.
Yeah.
Where you at? Yep.
No, it wasn't that one.
So there's one in the back of these too.
Similar. Like he had like these little testing rods that were in the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Go to this is nasty. Cause you gotta understand, man, we were so quick to join with these heathen and follow the custom. Like you read in Maccabees where they said we basically uncircumcise ourselves to be with them. Check this out. Go to Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 25.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 25.
Go ahead.
And I will bring a sword upon you.
Go ahead.
That shall avenge the quarreling of my covenant.
The quarrel of my covenant. Because we broke the covenant. Even in those times, we knew the law, but what did it say? We were quick to join the heathen and break the law. We were quick to do what they were doing. Go ahead.
And when ye are gathered together within your cities,
Go ahead.
I will send the pestilence among you.
Go ahead. That famine. Go ahead.
And ye shall be delivered into the hand of your enemy.
Man. Go ahead.
And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your loaf, your bread, in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat, and ye shall not be satisfied.
Go ahead.
And if he will not for all this hearken unto me,
Which we didn't do.
but walk contrary unto me,
Which we did do. Go ahead.
then I will walk contrary unto you also in fury.
Go ahead.
And I, even I, will chastise you 7 times in your city, in your sins, Salah.
Times for your sins. Go ahead. Read verse 29.
Verse 29. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters.
And when you go into certain parts of the Maccabees, that's what happened. Hold on. That's what happened. We were eating our sons and our daughters. This is after this. Or before. This is way before. Yeah, this is before this. But there was a time when that's what happened. We were eating our sons and our daughters. We were cut off, and that's what we were doing. Go ahead.
Shall ye eat. Verse 30. And I will destroy your high places.
That's what the Romans came in and did. They came in and destroyed the temple. Go ahead.
And cut down your images.
Go ahead.
And cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols.
Go ahead.
And my soul shall abhor you.
I mean, if that's not what we read in the Josephus, it's carcass upon carcass, no food, right? So where we at? Back in the Josephus. Like I said, man, if y'all get a hold, y'all could. There's 2 ways you can get to the Josephus. You can get the book, or if you're an iPhone, Apple user, there's an app called Eastward. And the Josephus is like a reference you can download books. But it's a reference book, Eastward. Right? So let's see here. Let's see. So it said, for many died as they were burying others, and many went to their coffins before that fatal hour was come. Nor was there any lamentations made under these calamities, nor were there heard any mournful complaints. But the famine confounded all natural passions. For those who were just going to die looked upon those that were gone to rest before them with dry eyes and open mouths. A deep silence also, So there was no funerals. There was none of that. There was no funeral processions. There was no words like this was a great man. There was none of that. You just died hungry, and watched other people die. Yeah, bro. That's it gotta be painful to die of hunger. It says, a deep silence also and a kind of deadly night had seized upon the city, while yet the robbers were still more terrible than those miseries were themselves, for they broke open those houses which were no other than graves of dead bodies, and plundered them for what they had. And carrying off the coverings of their bodies, went out, laughing, and tried the points of their swords in their dead bodies. And in order to prove what metal they were made of, they thrust some of those through that still lay alive upon the ground. But for those that entreated them to lend them their right hand and their sword to dispatch them, they were too proud to grant their requests, and left them to be consumed by famine. Now every one of these died with their eyes fixed upon the temple, and left the seditious alive behind them. Go to Luke 21 and 20. That's crazy, man. I read it and I just get like vivid pictures in my head of
Reality.
what was actually going down, man. It's crazy.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 20.
So now we have Christ again, and he's giving warning, he's giving heed, right? He's letting us know in 19 and 43, the day is going to come when Jerusalem is going to be compassed. And this is what's going to happen, but you don't know it because you ain't paying attention. You don't know when you're going to be visited. You don't know when they're going to come and do it. But then this is what he said, what we should do once it happened. Go ahead.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
So Christ knew that Jerusalem was going to be compassed about with armies. Go ahead.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
You see that? The desolation is going to happen. Jerusalem is going to be destroyed.
Jerusalem shall fall.
Go ahead.
21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let them not.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were stopping.
No.
And let them not that are in the country enter thereinto.
So this is where we have, you speak to a lot of the so-called Jews, right? And you're like, well, we're the real Jews and blah, 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 blah. They don't understand how come the Jews aren't black. It's telling you right here. Christ told us to do what? Read verse 20 again.
Verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed.
Read verse 21, sorry.
Verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it
fled. We fled out of the land. We fled from the land at this time. We fled fleeing Roman persecution. So that's why the land was left empty. You see that? So now when you go back, the land was left. We fled out of Israel, out of Judea, and fled to the mountains. I'll read this here. So it says, Titus, this is back in from Babylon Timbuktu, page 84. It says, Titus put an end to the Jewish estate with great slaughter. During the period of military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. So that's where the famine, that's where they were going through and sacrificing pork on the altar. They were doing all these different outrages and atrocities. says during the period from Pompey to Julius, there's been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Christ told us to flee to the mountains, right? Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. I mean, y'all gotta really see, man, that Christ knew what the hell he was talking about. He was basically spitting history before it happened, prophesying, but then the history books write it down, and other scholars write it down, but you got people that want to deny Christ's existence. He basically gave us the pathway to for us not to be wiped out and extinct. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, looking on the map, you can see how it shows the terrain of the mountains, and so like it's like they could have been fleeing, like they would flee into Africa and then into or this other landmass right here. What is this? But Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia shows the mountains there, and it shows the mountains on Africa.
Right. But we know that it was Africa because that's where they pulled us from out of slavery.
Gone.
Right?
Gone.
And we know we blended in with the people. The whole point was to blend in with the people. That was the whole point. Blend in with somebody that looks like you so you don't get caught. What's up?
That's why even Jesus himself
ran into Africa, right?
Egypt.
Ran into Egypt. Right. He fled into Egypt. So he already knew, okay, I'm going to send them the same way I went. I'm going to send them to those mountains so they can hide out. Where we at?
You want me to continue in Luke?
No, go to Mark 13 and 14. Oh wait, hold on. Actually, stay at Luke and somebody else. Put it in here. Let's see. Yeah, go to Mark.
Mark chapter 13, verse 14.
He was just reiterating what was said in Luke. But go ahead.
But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet,
Go ahead.
standing where it ought not, let him that read it understand it.
Go ahead.
Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains.
You see that? So he was saying the same thing. Flee to the mountains. Because all these things that were going on, all this abomination of desolation, the famine, the Romans coming there, killing us, sacrificing us, right? Go back to Luke.
Luke chapter 21, verse 22.
Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
That what?
Which all things which are written may be fulfilled.
So this is what Christ was saying, that all this had to happen. It had to be fulfilled. All the curses in Deuteronomy, they got to be fulfilled. What we read in Leviticus, they got to be fulfilled. Go ahead.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck.
Yeah, because they didn't give a damn about your children. It was cutting them out your bellies and stomping on them and making you eat them. Go ahead.
In those days.
Go ahead.
For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
You see that? He was giving warning. Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Go ahead.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And what's going to happen?
Be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be...
Hold that real quick. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Go ahead.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
So this was prophecy coming through. That all that things that are written had to be fulfilled. Go ahead.
Which and there thou shalt serve other gods.
Yeah, you don't serve other gods because now you're a prisoner. You ain't gonna be able to serve what the hell you want, or serve what you thought you knew. You're a prisoner of someone, so you're gonna serve what they want you to serve. What's up?
And it's funny about this one because when you say you're gonna serve other gods, because the only time over here that you catch slack is when you try to worship the Most High.
Right.
But when you worship, you say, I'm Buddha, I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim. Oh, they cool, okay.
I'm a Christian, brother.
You say, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Oh, no.
Oh, you one of them Israelites? I don't know about that. They look at you all funny.
Right.
It's like, yeah, but you serving something that you don't even know about. We know what we worship, right? Go ahead.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Go back to Luke.
Luke chapter 21. Middle precept of verse 24.
Read verse
24. But what child
who will not run you out. So it's like destruction on you that gives with child. You ain't gonna be able to protect that child. You might end up eating that baby because of famine, or they just gonna come through and pierce them right through. Go ahead.
For there shall be great distress in the land.
Yeah, man, that famine, all the things that they came through and did, that great distress, no food. Go ahead.
And wrath upon this people.
Uh-huh.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive unto all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
They should be what?
Trodden down of the Gentiles.
Yeah, that's what the Romans came in and did. The Gentiles, they came through and trodden down Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Yeah, and they still have the land till this day. Right?
God.
They still got the land till this day. It just passed from Gentile nation to Gentile nation. The Romans had it, then these fake Israelis have it. Right. But that's the thing. Christ was telling us, man, look, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen to our nation. Especially since we didn't want to listen. Hard-headed as hell.
As usual.
Go to Lamentations chapter 1 and verse 15.
Lamentations chapter 1 verse 15.
Actually, go to man. Yee. Go to
Doeth the city sick of people?
Go ahead.
How is she as a widow?
You see that? The city was full of people. Now it's a widow. Go ahead.
Was great among the nations, and princes among the provinces. How has she become tributary?
Go ahead.
Verse 2. She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her.
Yeah, there was nobody there to comfort that city. There was nobody there to comfort Jerusalem at that time because we was just catching it. The Romans were there, but it wasn't for no comfort. Go ahead.
All her friends have dealt treacherously with her.
Go ahead.
They are become her enemies.
Go ahead. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Judea is gone into captivity because of affliction.
Go ahead.
And because of great servitude.
Because you see that? Judah has gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. Go ahead.
She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits.
You see that? She dwelleth among the heathen. We want to be among the heathen. We want to do their customs. Now we ain't got no rest. It's just like today. We want to be in graft with the heathen. As soon as you think you in there, I got 10 white friends, I'm in there. You end up missing and dead. Ain't that what happened to there was a chick, man, that I was reading about. I forgot her name.
It was not too long ago.
It was, you know what I'm talking about, right?
She was at a party.
She was at a party.
And nobody knew why she was in the pool dead.
Right. She was at this party, nothing but white folk. She was the only black girl, pretty too. But all of a sudden she ended up in the pool, just drowned, and nobody knew what was up.
And they call him a token.
Yeah, you want to be the token black guy. Jerusalem wanted to be the token. And look, Most High took us out because we didn't want to follow what he laid down. What Christ was telling us. Go ahead.
Verse 4. The ways of Zion do mourn. Be solemn feast. Her high priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted. And she is in bitterness.
You see that? Go ahead.
Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. For the Lord hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. And from the daughter of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like hearts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction, and of her miseries, all her pleasant things that she hath in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy. None did help her. The adversary saw her and did mock at her Sabbath.
You see that? This is what we was reading in Josephus, where they was like, okay, we know how we can deal with them on the Sabbath. We ain't gonna fight them. We ain't gonna throw rocks, but we gonna build up so we can knock down these walls. They were mocking.
Gone.
The enemy did this, but see, it's all through the Bible. We don't need the Josephus to tell us what happened.
Right.
We don't need it. We don't need this Babylon Timbuktu.
For you scholars.
We don't need that. We got the Bible that tells us what happened to Jerusalem.
Right.
In these times. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Jerusalem has grievously sinned.
And this is why it happened. Go ahead.
Therefore she is removed.
Therefore what?
She is removed.
Yeah, and Caesar said, rip it out the wall, rip down the foundation. So you can't tell somebody even lived there. Go ahead.
All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yet she sigheth and turneth backward.
Go to verse 10.
Verse 10. Her adversary has spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things.
Yeah, when they ran up in the temple and ransacked it, took everything that was holy, all the holy instruments, the cups, everything of gold. Right? Go ahead.
For she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary.
Go ahead.
Whom didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation?
Yeah, the heathen didn't even belong in the city, man. They didn't belong in the congregation. They didn't belong in the temple. They knew it. But they went up in there and ransacked it. Go ahead.
Verse 11. All her people sigh. They seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve their soul. Relieve their soul.
Because they was starving. Go ahead.
See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile. 12.
Verse 15. Jump down.
Verse 15. The Lord has trodden under foot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to crush my young men.
Go ahead.
The Lord hath trodden the virgin the daughter of Judah, as in a winepress.
See that? That's what happened during this time, man. These Romans, they were brutal. They were brutal and brutish. From there, go to. Y'all with me so far?
Done.
I know it's a lot of reading.
All right.
I know it's a lot of reading. Well, Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 5. Go,
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 5.
uh-huh.
And now go to. I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge therefore.
So we're considered the vineyard of the Most High. But he took away that protection. When he let the Romans come in and break down them walls, he took away the hedge thereof. Go ahead.
And it shall be eaten up.
What happened?
It shall be eaten up.
Go ahead.
And break down the wall therefore.
Go ahead.
And it shall be trodden down.
Read verse 6.
And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned, nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is in the house of Israel.
No, read that again.
Oh, it's a lot. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel.
You see that? Go ahead.
And the man of Judah is his pleasant plant, and he looked for judgment. But behold, oppression, for righteousness, but behold, a cry.
That's good. Y'all with me?
God.
Go to Isaiah. And these are just some what was going on. That hedge. He took away that protection. All the things that we were doing and wanted to be in and grafting ourselves in and wanting to be like the Romans. He was like, all right, fine. You want to be with them? Guess what? I'm going to let them deal with you. It's no different from, I keep saying it, it's no different from today. Where it's like, fine, the scriptures say, envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his ways, right? But we want to be looking just like him. We go get surgeries and dye our hair blonde and bleach our skin. You know, these cats are bleaching their skin, grown ass men. Like, when you look at it, Nigeria and Jamaica are the two most countries that bleach their skin. They bleach their skin the most. And then when you read, I was watching a documentary about it, man. They were in Jamaica, and they were asking them, like, why do you bleach your skin? They're like, because it's pretty. It's prettier. When you dark, you ugly. When you, they call you light and pretty. That light being white is something pretty. That's how you get more face. This mentality of you ain't gonna get water. Let's see here. All right, so that's it on the scriptures, and then so we'll go back to some of these readings that I have. So y'all got all those scriptures written down, right?
God.
All right, so go back to some of this reading. So we're gonna get some more names in history. So it says, during the Roman occupation of Israel, they made Herod the Great he was a governor, right? Who knows what Herod?
I do.
It's funny. It says Edomite / cause like that when you look it up. Even though like, nah, this is actually from encyclopedia. Yeah, it said Edomite / converts to Judaism, and it says his religious commitment was questioned by some elements of Jewish society. It says when John Hyrcanus conquered the region of Idumea in 140 through 140 in 140 BCE, he required all Idumeans to obey Jewish law or leave. Most Idumeans thus converted to Judaism, which meant they had to be circumcised, and many had intermarried with the Jews and adopted their customs. While Herod publicly identified himself as a Jew and was considered as such by some, this religious identification was undermined by the decadent lifestyle of the Herodians, which would have earned them apathy of observant Jews. Let's see here. So this goes in back to a lot of reading and history, talking about Herod. So Herod crowned himself king of the Jews in 37 BC, after he exterminated the Hasmonean dynasty. So Herod was the one that went through and wiped out. When you go back up on your notes, he's the one that wiped out the Hasmonean dynasty, which consisted of John Alexander, and I keep saying the name wrong. What is it?
Arkansas?
No,
Original Union.
right. Because they were part of this dynasty. So Herod is the one that wiped out this dynasty. Basically, Herod came through and wiped out the Maccabees. Because that's where the family is, the Maccabees. They came from the Maccabean family. It said, Herod, in the 33 years as king of Judea, he committed many cruel acts against the Jews by violating the laws of God. When he invaded Jerusalem, he killed all the Jews which were trying to flee from the city, and did not regard age, sex, and murdered all in his path. In his retaliation of all those who supported the Hasmonean throne, he burned 2,000 Jews alive.
Oh, yeah.
Herod also renewed the Greek. See, now this is going into the gymnasium. So Herod renewed the Greek Olympic Games in Judea to gain the favor of the Romans and Greeks. He built up Caesarea and Jerusalem for these events and summoned all nations to take part in the games. This is the origin of the modern Olympic Games that were made. Those that were made to participate fought, wrestled, and played while naked. Let me use this one. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me better or hear me better?
No, the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I think I'm not talking to the mic. It says, those that were made to participate fought, wrestled, and played while naked because of a natural strength, physique, and ability of the Jews. Think about it. It said the natural strength, physique, and ability. We born with that. Them little old white Jews that's over there right now, them dudes is small, scrawny, skinny, ain't got no athleticism. Show me the last Jew that was dope in basketball, that ran track good, that played tennis. Show me. Talking about the last convert that was good at anything sports-wise. They good at hoarding money. That's it. But it said our natural physique, strength, and ability of the Jews, many of them were forced to fight to the death as gladiators, made to fight wild beasts. And this is in the Josephus Antiquities of the Jews, book 15, chapter 8, section 1. Yeah, all of that 300 and even Gladiator, yeah, all that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bunch of white boys just chilling.
That's why Jamie Foxx showed y'all that again in Django.
Oh, yeah. I like Django. I'm going to finish on. It says, in the last year of Herod's reign of terror, he ordered the execution of every child in Judea, 2 years old and under, when he heard the prophecies of the coming Messiah. Right? He's trying to kill Christ. We all know that story, right? And now, after the death of Herod, 22 years later, Rome placed Pontius Pilate as governor of Palestine. He was the fifth. It says he also oppressed many of the Jews and provoked them by violating the laws of their fathers by setting up a Roman ensign in the Temple of Jerusalem. He also killed many that were against the Roman oppressive system, namely the Galileans, who were a political sect of Jews. Pilate also condemns Jesus Christ to die and had him crucified. So this is going now into like Christ, right? And when he was crucified. So now you're getting like who was in rulership before Christ was born and now after. Go to so y'all got that? Go to go to Luke. I'm gonna finish reading it. It says, so Pilate delivers Christ up to be killed. While Christ hung on the cross, he prophesied of the coming destruction and the afflictions that the Jews would have to endure at the hand of their oppressors. Yeah, so go to Luke 23 and verse 28.
Luke chapter 23, verse 28. But Jesus, turning unto them, said, daughters of Jerusalem,
tell them, don't cry for me. I'm gonna be all right, but you gotta cry for yourselves, because this is what's gonna happen. Read on.
and for your children. For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear.
Right, because it said, woe to them that give suck, right?
God.
And are with child. So he's saying the day's gonna come when they say you blessed for not having no kids, for they have to go through this. Go ahead.
And the paps which never gave suck.
Go ahead.
Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us.
Go ahead.
For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry?
What verse is that?
31.
Something that's missing. So Christ was dropping it this whole time, man.
So was what he dropped there was only for that time, like that siege in Jerusalem, or was that like how things happen over, like as far as how our captivities went over and over?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, think about it. I don't want to have no kids in this wicked ass world. You know, like I got Noah, right? He's 3. I always think about it. I'm like, man, the way things are going, when Noah is of the age that it's time for him to find a wife, there ain't gonna be no girls. All the girls are gonna be boys, right? It's just the way things are progressing. It's like, damn, I should have never had no. It makes you not want to have kids because of the way the world is. So, yeah, it can apply. You know, if you're looking at things and the way things progress and the way things are progressing and at the speed, you're like, damn, dude, what are my kids? I feel sorry for my kids. That's what's basically what it's saying. Like, I feel sorry for your kids. So, it applies. But at the same time, we know that children are a blessing, and if you raise them right, they don't have to fall into the filth of the world, right? Because raise up a child the way you should have him, and he should never depart. Huh? What? Which one?
You talking where you prophesied about siege?
Yeah.
I think that's 24.
Yeah, we got that, right? Yeah, we got that.
You already did that?
Yeah.
Go to. Ooh. There it is. Go to. Damn. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 53.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 53. Give me a comment, you got it. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 53. And thou,
Go ahead.
and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body.
You should do what?
Eat the fruit of thine own body.
Go ahead.
The flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in this straightness.
In the what?
Straightness.
No, go back. It says in the siege. You see that? Go ahead.
In the siege and in the straightness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
And this is why Christ was like, blessed is the womb that's barren, because he knew what he was going to have to do. He had to eat your babies. Think about it. Who got kids?
God.
I could never imagine putting my son or my daughters, cooking them and eating them. I couldn't even imagine eating another person. That's just terrible to me. I'd just starve.
God.
I would have to. I can't imagine that. But they were doing it. Go ahead. And see now we get, because we use verse 54 a lot when we bring out these curses. But now we're going to get like a little, more context to these verses, to 54, to verse 56. We're going to read it from 53 down to 57. Actually 57. And now we'll see the context of what it was talking about and what Christ was prophesying on. Go ahead.
Verse 54.
So
that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother.
Yeah, because he's looking at him so he can eat him. He's looking at him like, how can I get over on this man and take from him? There's something that I need. He's no longer a brother. I got to survive. My survival mode takes over brotherhood.
Animalistic.
Yeah, you turn into a damn animal. Because of this siege, because of what these Romans were putting us through, it was like, man, I got to survive. Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Go ahead.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Or eat. Go ahead.
Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, to whom he shall eat.
He shall what?
Eat.
You see that? Go ahead.
Because he had nothing left. He had nothing left him in the siege.
Go ahead.
And in the straightness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Verse 56.
Go ahead.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set thy sole of her foot upon the ground. For delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
Yeah, because she's looking at, once again, survival mode. How do I survive? How are we going to survive this siege? Everybody dropping down dead from famine. They breaking down the walls. 10,000 people died in 3 months. How are we going to survive? This is how we going to do it. We're going to eat our kids. I'm going to look at you evilly. I'm going to take from you. I'm going to steal from you. Go ahead.
And toward her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet.
Go ahead.
And toward her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and in straitness, wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
That's it on that.
God.
Got 10 minutes. Go to Y'all understand that so far?
God.
You said what?
Triliteers.
What's that?
So Indians.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
Yep. You see it coming?
Is there any questions on there?
The question, there's a question. Does the green tree refer to that time period and the dry tree refer to our times, sir?
Where are we at?
That was in Luke chapter 23 and verse 28.
Said Luke 23:21 that we just read from.
Oh, 21. You said Luke chapter 23 and verse 21?
23 and 31.
31, I'm sorry. Do we read, sir?
You get there one sec. I'm gonna get back to you on that one. Yeah, we'll get back to that one. What was that, Luke?
23 and 31.
What was that? What was that?
Ray.
Oh, Ray? Con. We'll get back to you on that, Ray. What was the question? What was the question?
Does the green tree refer to that time period, or the dry tree refer? And the dry tree refer to our times?
Oh, okay. I'll get back to you on that question. What we got? 5 minutes. All right, well, I'm gonna pause it there. It's a lot more as it goes in. Not too much more, but we'll pause it there. But what we'll do, we'll look and see. We'll wait for any questions online.
Hey, I don't know if it was a comment or if they're trying to be funny, but.
Oh, they are.
Are they gonna maybe go in again? They gonna maybe go on a tangent?
What
Was it?
Keep you guys in.
Okay, no sound, shalom everyone. What are these creepy guys wearing? cats want to get on the YouTube and troll and act and be funny, man. It's all good. It's all good. You can mock. You remember when those children were mocking?
Oh, Elijah.
What's that dude that's a bald man?
When they were mocking Elijah, and what happened?
She-bears came at him.
Got them she-bears and came out and ripped them to pieces, man. So you can mock and call us creepy, whatever you want, but the Most High will not be mocked. So I'm gonna leave that at that. But we're gonna wait. If there's no other questions, man, you guys got any questions in here? I know it's a lot of reading. I know y'all heard me talk a lot and read a lot. Y'all got any questions on the topic, off the topic? What's that? La? Alright, so we're gonna end it there. We're gonna salute them online. We're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Check my text. You know that?
At what time?
7:30, bro.
We left?
No, he stayed.
Yeah, no. Oh, what time was that?
No, I don't want to talk about nothing, man.
That's Kazakh's, right?
I told Kazak. He was like, cool. He said,
We'll talk. Talk about it.
What's up, these prayers?